Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Two Crazy Guys, One Crazy Crypto World podcast, a podcast that brings you your daily updates on the crypto markets as well as the crypto news of the day, all delivered by your favorite baby boomer and Gen X, the two crazy guys, Stacy and Chris. So sit back and enjoy your daily crazy crypto update. Good morning, buddy. I added in the crazy.
You did. It must have meant to be.
Just a quick one. Stacy decided that we needed to change up our intro. That's why. And I just totally added in an extra crazy. You get that with us.
Well, I was going to say, it's not like it's not warranted.
Well, that's very true. Excuse me. If we're in a funny farm, they give us extra medication.
Oh, the extra straight jackets.
There goes the concrete coming out.
Thanks for
I've got
sharing.
a very, very quick funny story for you. As you know, my Land Rover's going through a little bit of a rest phase where the engine don't wants to work, and Land Rover Australia are looking at it. Thank you, Land Rover Australia. Do the right thing. Anyway,
Good luck.
Yesterday, I get this phone call from Land Rover, and just to give me an update on the program of the car. And they said to me on this telephone message that they were sending the oil away to be tested by Castrol.
Okay.
Okay. So I rang them back and I said, "Hi, it's Chris, blah, blah, blah. What test are you doing on the oil?"
Yes.
Because they did say in the message they will let me know the results next week.
Right.
So the answer I got was extremely good. Don't know. And I said,
That's great.
So who's sending it? We are. So you're sending it to Castrol to test, but you don't know what you're testing. And you're going to ring me back and give me the results of the test that you don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're confused, so am I. Right? It's just ridiculous.
It's another good excuse. They can come back and say, "Oh, the test failed."
That's right.
What test?
The only thing that we could think that they can test the carbon content and all that sort of stuff in the oil, but that's irrelevant to what happened. But maybe they're testing what the viscosity of the oil was to see if it wasn't the recommended oil. Now, the catch on, we've already given it to them. We have already admitted it wasn't the recommended oil, it was a thicker oil than what was recommended, and told them it was the 15W50 and not the 5W30. So we're really confused as to what they're testing.
Oh, dear. Anyway, well, good luck with that, dude.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate. Thanks. It's just ridiculous.
You got to wonder.
Anyway, mate, what's happening in the markets today? Tell me.
Well, I suppose
Ladies and gentlemen, just
share
very
my
quickly,
screen with you, I suppose.
You can share it with me while I talk.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget,
You're good at that.
everything that we say on this is just from us. This is our perspective. It is not financial advice. We're not telling you to go out and mortgage your home and all that sort of stuff.
No,
we
please
have to say this sort of shit occasionally just in case someone does. Right? Please.
Yes, absolutely. This is just our perspective, our journey, for anyone who's interested and curious. And
That's right.
If it gives you some useful information to help you make better decisions, then that's all we can hope for. All right.
Or if you're interested in the curious guys, because everyone's curious as to why we are not.
They'll be trying to work that out for years to come, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, we're still bouncing around. We're still holding above 10 grand, but we had a drop. It was climbing up pretty well yesterday, and then it decided, you know what? Yeah, I've had enough of going up. I'm going to go down. And so she dropped. Bitcoin dropped almost 5%, and in fact, it actually dropped more than that at one stage. And we'll have a quick look. We'll have a look now. Since we're talking about it, let's have a look. So
let's change the format again.
Why not? Yeah, let's keep things fresh and happening. Look, we dropped down to a low of 9858 overnight. So it did drop below the 10, but was promptly brought back. So there seems to be some really good support around the 10,000 US mark. And for this at this point, it seems to be holding pretty well. But as I said, but as you can see from the chart, it's going up and down. But that's only the hourly. If we actually zoom out and we take a wider look, let's say look at the daily, it's still looking a bit choppy there. We're really just hanging on to a slide uptrend there. And if we zoom out again to the weekly, what's happening on a bigger scale? Well, I think we can safely say we're still holding on to an uptrend here as well. So certainly since the beginning of the year, there's 2019 down here. We've been continuing upwards so far throughout the year. At this stage, we're still holding that uptrend. So fingers crossed, Bitcoin can hold the 10,000 mark and it can continue on.
Yeah,
So,
I've got a question for you based on that picture in front of us right now, Mr. Basil.
what's that?
Have the people who did the charting got the wrong colour on XRP? Because everything that I can see there for the 7-day chart, it should be red.
That's a very good question. 7-day, minus 10%. Yeah.
They're just Rabbitoh supporters.
That's very strange. You are indeed correct. If the 7-day is minus 10%, you would think that last 7-day chart should be red.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what is going on there, my friend, but you are dead right.
It's the same with Monero down there. I think they just needed a little bit more green in there rather than just having tether, which is never anything.
They were just getting sick of the red, and they just thought, you know what, it's almost Christmas. So let's.
No, it's coming up to finals time. The Rabbitoh supporters.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, that's a good question, mate. I've got no answer for that one. No idea.
If I go home.
All right, well, let's look at the top 10. Ethereum, 186, down 5%. We've got XRP, as we've just spoken, dropped another 2.7 in the last 24 hours, down at 26 cents. Bitcoin Cash holding at 301, still down 4.2%. Litecoin sitting at 73.84, down another 1.5%. Binance Coin sitting at $27 US, down 3.5%. EOS to 352, down almost 4%. Jumping over Tether, Bitcoin SV at 133, down almost 5%. And Cardano rounding out the top 10 at 4.7 cents, down another 4.1%. So a lot of redness, and as following Bitcoin, as it always seems to do, it's, when it goes, so do the alts. So the alts certainly have not had a good run of it, not for a long time. So since the bear market started the beginning of 2018, anyone who's been investing in alts would be hurting significantly. So we shall.
Do you want to see my bandages?
Or bandages or tears, There's a few of them floating around. So anyway, look. But while that's happening, and while you might think that the altcoins are not a place to be, and look, to be honest, when we look at our coins, it's currently sitting at 5,492 of them listed on CoinGecko. Many of them are certainly not a place I would invest in, that's for sure. But there are some projects that are happening that I think are worth considering and worth investigating. And this one's, I want to look at a couple of homegrown ones. So for us here in Australia, we've got a couple of really smart cookies and people doing some really good stuff. And one is Power Ledger, and they're based. I think they started out in Perth, in WA.
Yeah, where's Australia?
Yeah, and look, these guys are looking at turning the energy market on its nose, basically, and they've got some really cool ideas around how to better share the power, right? So, in particular, they've got a couple of projects that are running, whereby they're enabling people in a suburb, for example, or in an area to share. So we got some people that have got solar panels and some people that don't. It's actually enabling you to share your excess power with your neighbours, and it enables your neighbours to buy power from you at a reduced cost to what you would normally purchase it from the energy retailers. So I thought that's a pretty cool project, to be honest. They're also looking at a number of other projects on a commercial sense as well. So they're doing a lot of really cool stuff, and we won't go into a great deal of detail here because we don't have a lot of time. But that's definitely one that is worth looking at, and they've been going for quite a while now, and I have been watching them. I have bought a little bit of Power token, and watching with interest as they continue on and develop their projects. So
Yeah, it's still quite cheap by now. I've got like about that much. I think. I do
yeah.
have a little bit in there.
But again, this is an example of how they've taken the blockchain technology and utilising it in an industry that is definitely in need of some shake-up. And certainly here in Australia, where our middlemen get involved in our electricity and charge us like
Gas.
wounded bulls.
And our gas.
And our gas, yep. And certainly even for myself that's got solar, any excess power that we put into the grid, we get a whole 9 cents per kilowatt for. But then, of course, if we use it, they charge us 29,
Yeah, that's very true, but that's better than South Australia, where people have to pay to put money back into the grid now.
Are you kidding? Are they really?
To put power back into the grid.
That's
and
just
here
wrong.
in the ACT, that there's no longer any capacity to return power to the grid. So if you want to return your excess power to the grid, they're looking at starting to charge, or you have to buy batteries.
That's ridiculous. What do you mean no capacity for excess? What a crock of shit.
They don't have the infrastructure. They've literally maxed out their power infrastructure here in the ACT.
They haven't maxed it out, dude. It just means that they're not going to make any goddamn money. Fucking maxed out. What a crock of shit.
That's their story, buddy.
Yeah, it's a freaking likely story. Oh, man, these guys. Seriously. Anyway, we'll move on. Here's another one which is doing some really cool stuff as well. Agrichain, another Australian-born project. Obviously looking after the farmers, which I'm all for. And
absolutely.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And they're developing a platform, not just for the farmers, but sort of the ecosystem as a whole. And so their little blurb here, it says, imagine if all stakeholders in the agricultural industry could make better informed decisions, eliminate unnecessary paperwork and dockets, reduce supply chain inefficiency and risk, open markets and increase their bottom line by conducting business in one simple platform. And Agrichain is that platform. So they're developing a massive feature set to enable for the agricultural ecosystem, from stock management, contracting, the supply chain, logistics, brokering, calculated blending, traceability, and position reporting. Now, not being a farmer, I don't know what the position reporting thing is, but everything else I'm sort of familiar with. So they can go into it. If you go to their website, which is agrichain.com, you can look at it from the perspective of a grower, a broker, or from the logistics side, and they can take you through. We have a quick look at for the growers. We can look at some of the benefits that they're offering for the people. So improving your bottom line, increased productivity, profitability, minimizing your overheads, which I think any farmer would absolutely be for, reducing your costs, and so forth. So very cool project. And I've been, again, watching these guys for a while, and they seem to be ticking the boxes and doing some good stuff. So one worth checking out, I believe.
Yep.
That's all awesome. Right. So, another crazy news.
All right. This one I thought, mate, I found this morning, I thought that you'd like there because, like, I know how you want to be positive about everything. Yeah. So based on what people are searching on Google, a recession could be imminent because if it keeps going, I'm going to drive to Queensland and I'm going to shoot him, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to find the right levels.
The search trends for recession 2020 and how to prepare for a recession spiked in the USA on August 14.
There you go.
And saying the reason is the inversion of the 2-year and 10-year yield curve at 6 a.m. that day. Yeah. So basically, rather than going into all the technical details, it is just another example of how the people, not the government, how the people are looking at the financial situation. They are sitting back now and going, holy shit, this might be happening. And they're preparing for it. So good on them.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
Get some money in cryptos. It won't go away.
Yeah, look, that's exactly right, mate. Look, no one knows for sure if we're going to hit a recession or if it's going to be a massive global crisis like some people say. Who knows? But, forewarned is forearmed, right? So right. If there is a possibility of this coming, at least if you're aware and you can put some things into place that protects you in case it happens, I'd rather be in that situation just in case.
So would I.
Especially after the GFC and watching what happened to our savings and super then.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that happen again. So,
No.
but interestingly, just after a bunch of bad days on the stock market, this article was the title. There it is. The Dow surges as Wall Street bets on titanic interest rate cuts. So they're expecting now that based on
Titanic sank, right?
yeah, very good. You know your history. Good work. so, look, there's the Dow for some reason recovered on Wednesday in the US after erasing its previous day losses. So meanwhile, President Trump, as he does, continues to throw his weight around in a bid to pressure the Fed into giving the market the easing cycle it wants. So not only are they talking lower interest rates, which is almost zero now, he's also talking about quantitative easing, which is, as I've said many times, just means more money printing, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the stock market seemed to like that idea. The S&P 500 actually added almost 1% over that day, and the Nasdaq jumped up 0.77%. So it just beggars belief, to be honest. And the fact that the interest rates are dropping, and we're talking quantitative easing, it all says there is seriously something wrong with the economy. Yet the share market says, "Oh, that's good. Let's buy more." It's just like I can't understand it. It makes no sense whatsoever. Considering the price of all these stocks are already artificially inflated through debt now, and we're going into more debt, let's just push it up higher. It makes no sense. Anyway, what do I know, right?
Mate, we're not the financial whiz kids of the world, so all we can do is look at it and laugh.
That we will. Anyway, so other interesting news.
The Winklevoss twins crypto exchange Gemini is expanding to Australia, enabling residents of the country, that's us, ladies and gentlemen, to use the platform to buy and sell and store crypto. And they're talking Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Zcash. But while it's 6 cryptos, its stablecoin the Gemini dollar is not supported in Australia according to its website. Not quite sure why. But there you go. At least the Winklevoss, God, that's a hard thing to say.
What'd you say, Winklevoss?
Winklevoss. It reminds me of the story Rip Van Winkle, the guy who went to sleep for 20 years.
Oh.
And so, anyway, but there you go. They're coming into Australia, so there's yet another exchange. Maybe it's because America finally opened that first one where you can buy cryptos with cash. A little bit behind. And now the Winklevosses are saying, hey, Australia's leading the charge. Let's get
Yeah, look, and absolutely. I think there are certainly a number of projects and people in the industry that have looked at Australia quite favourably. Because we haven't been as restrictive or negative towards the industry as, say, the US and the SEC. So I think, and that has enabled projects like Power Ledger and Agrichain to progress, and which can only be good for the country. So far so good. Hopefully that will continue along in that vein. So and here's a case of another big project coming to Australia. So good news.
Yeah, there you go, another one. Cool.
Here's a good one.
Yeah, the India Supreme Court has given central bank 2 weeks to justify their crypto ban.
Yeah.
If they can't do it in 2 weeks, and let's face it, they haven't been able to do it in however many months.
Yeah.
They've only got 2 weeks now, or they're going to have to lift that ban.
And that will be really positive for the industry.
Got a heck of a lot of Indians out there. And so, and as Stacy has said, a lot of them don't get into the normal banking system.
No.
So if the crypto ban does get lifted over there, wow, watch out.
Absolutely. And combined with the fact that a lot of the Indian population actually don't even have access to electricity yet. And that's one of the things that the Indian government has actually promised, is that they're going to ensure that infrastructure is set up to get power to more of the population. So suddenly then, if you get people with power and mobile phones, but maybe not have access to banking, but with mobile phones, as we know, there's crypto.
Just about everyone's got a mobile phone. So how the hell do they charge them when they haven't got electricity?
Well, I'm suspecting that part of the population either doesn't have mobile phones either,
Yeah.
So that penetration will increase. So there'll be more mobile phones that will be purchased, and with mobile phones comes cryptocurrency. So
Yeah. Oh.
it gives them a way to interact and be part of the global economy. So I think that would be cool, and it's really good to see that the Supreme Court basically upholding this against the government. I actually think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. All right, what else you got, buddy? Oh, is she back? Sorry, I'm not trying to jump down the camera, ladies and gentlemen. Just sort of adjusting myself, maybe.
So I'm looking at this project. People, as a warning, this project caught my eye a little while ago, actually, and I've been watching it for a little while, and it's called Equicex, and it's sex with a CEX, not a SEX, just in case you're wondering. And it proposes, first of all, it's just an exchange where you can send cryptos and exchange it for something else, which is all well and good. But the thing that really caught my eye was the fact that it's got these cards. So it's another service where you could potentially get a Visa card and top it up with cryptocurrencies, which enables you to use your crypto in the real world. But I thought the thing that was really interesting was that they've got this black card, right? And this black card, right, provides you a 100% anonymous, no verification card. So you could literally get, a credit card, for want of a better word, Visa card or something like that, and it doesn't require any KYC, so know your client or any of the usual stuff that you got to go through to get a card. And it's completely anonymous. You can put any details you want on this card or name. It can be completely bogus. And I thought, wow, I'm really surprised to see a project that could do this, right? Because as soon as you're attached with Visa or anything like that, they generally want to know your details, right? And as we scroll down, they've got integrated with Dash and Smart Cash and some of these. Gives you the pricing, which isn't cheap, mind you, right? So in Australia, for example, it would cost us $73 to get the card. US is 50, in the Eurozone it's 45, and in England £40. So and then you got transaction fees, foreign fees, blah 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 blah, right? So it's not a cheap option, right?
Yeah.
Unlimited transactions. You can also get a bank account with it, similar sort of deal, right? So anonymous tax-free bank account. So they're sort of setting themselves up supposedly as almost like the old Swiss bank account sort of deals.
Yeah, it is. It's not sure again. Yeah, in Belize.
But I've been doing a little bit of search, and there have people who have reportedly tried to use this, paid their money for their card, and have not received their cards.
Strangely, that's very similar to what happened to me here with the Australian version.
Yes, so that was in this one here. This is the My Crypto Wallet. That's the one you're talking about. Yep. So, and I did actually do this one, and I did actually receive the card, and I actually used it a couple of times. But then, and I think as we reported on our podcast a number of weeks ago, they sent out a message to everyone saying there's been a problem, and the vendor that they were using for the cards were not accepting deposits from the clients, and there's a whole bunch of issues, and they basically shut it down. So they've been working their way through that. In fact, and it affected the whole My Crypto Wallet ecosystem, in that we couldn't withdraw, we couldn't trade, we couldn't do anything at all. Your funds were basically locked in that platform while they were sorting all that out. Now, good news is they've progressed. We can now withdraw funds. We can now trade again. So things seem to be moving ahead, which is really good sign. So these guys are a Melbourne-based company. And
they are a legitimate company, ladies and gentlemen.
They are.
They hit a few technical issues that slowed them down.
Yeah, well, it wasn't so much technical issues. I think political issues.
That's
to do with their vendor that wasn't playing ball. So I'm still waiting to sort of see the full outcome of that. And
The plus side of that one is that I actually bought the card as well after Stacy got his, and my card never arrived, and I didn't get any notification or anything else about issues. So I contacted them, and they came back to me within half an hour, and they had refunded the cost of the card.
that's good.
I apologised, said I should have been contacted, and they refunded me the cost of the card. So in the end, it didn't cost me anything, and which is good, and it also gave me, I guess, a little bit more faith that my crypto wallet is an organisation that you can deal with, because they could have just ignored the email.
Yes.
And
absolutely. And interestingly, going back to the Equicex story, following the articles and that I saw, I thought I'll try to do an exchange with a little bit of money. And I did that 2 days ago, and my funds have gone, and I've received nothing in return. I have then gone to the Contact Us page, and I have submitted an inquiry because I can track the transaction via the blockchain, and given them the transaction ID and said I've sent the money for the exchange, and here's the transaction ID. Transactions have been confirmed, so I know you have my money. How about you then reciprocate and provide me the coins back that I requested? And I've heard nothing.
How long has that been?
It's 2 days now, 2 days. And they said, and when you send it, it says, allow 24 hours for a response. So it's now been 2 days and nothing. So I'm going to...
24 Belize hours, mate. It's 24 Belize hours, 24 hours in Belize.
And maybe that's the issue.
I'm sorry, but any company that openly advertises we can open a bank account for you offshore, tax-free, in a tax-free haven. And if they think that there is any government in the world who's not going to go, let's look at that, they're taking drugs, serious drugs.
Well, look, to be honest, mate, it just looks like it's a complete and utter scam. It looks like they're just taking people's funds through this fictitious exchange that they've got here, as well as through the card. So they're making you pay for the card when you apply. From what some of the other comments that I've read online, is that people have paid for the card, and then and in some cases their accounts have been closed. Right. So this is where you have to really do your due diligence, people.
Do your own research, as we always say.
Don't just assume because they've got a professional-looking website. And look, the website looks fine. Looks like any other website, even with a little video, the video is very professional-looking, right? Yeah. So there's nothing about this site when you look at it that would raise alarm bells, right? Other than the fact that they're giving you a completely anonymous card. that did sort of go, oh, really? How do they do that, right? And I thought, maybe in Belize they can get away with that, But again, you just do a quick Google search. Is Equicex a scam, or issues or reviews of Equicex, or any of those sort of Google searches, and you'll see some, not a lot, right? There's not as many as I expected there to be. But there were certainly some people who have said, we've put money in and got nothing out.
Yeah. And those that come back and say, we put it in and we got it, it's all legit, they're probably the people at Equicex. Yeah,
look, and that's right. And then there's actually reports that some are in Twitter, there's quite a lot of it. If you actually search Twitter for Equicex, there's quite a number of articles advertising the site. But the premise is that a lot of these accounts are actually fake accounts anyway. So look, just another warning, folks. You've got to be careful out there, and not assume that just because you got a flash website that everything's going to be hunky dory.
That's it. All right, Mr. Bosel, that's going to have to be about us for today.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Yes, indeed.
Me. How are we? Look, ladies and gentlemen, see what happens. The half hour or so that we sort of allocate to try and get this done, it just flies by. Now, people used to say to me that, I could talk the legs off the table, talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, all that sort of stuff. Well, welcome to Mr. Bosel.
You just got to pick the right topic, mate.
I know, right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us. Thank you very much for joining us in this crazy journey through the crypto world. And don't forget, as always, please zip on over to Patreon where you can become a silver or a gold subscriber and get one of these fabulous little coins. Remember, you can use it as bling, and everyone loves bling. And join us tomorrow. We have a very special show. Are we allowed to announce that, Stacy?
Well, we won't be on tomorrow's show, but it will be coming.
Right.
We'll
So
be
don't
coming.
join us
We're
tomorrow.
going to interview.
You
Well,
join
no,
us
we can
tomorrow.
talk about it. We're going to interview someone. You know,
We're starting a series of interviews, and our first interview we're actually recording tomorrow, so it will be up there on Patreon.
probably Monday.
Okay, there you go. Monday, Mr. Basel says, "Oh, there you go."
Yeah.
Tracy, hold
Executive
your account.
decision.
I would have just said next week, right?
Yeah.
So,
Fairly positive.
on Patreon. So until then, have a great day, and we shall see you on this channel tomorrow morning. Have an awesome day, folks.
All right, folks. Have a crazy old day.
Cheers.
See ya.